Shabbat Shalom, beloved family in Messiah. Tonight, as we gather at the beginning of Shabbat, we enter one of the most prophetic seasons of the year, the seventh biblical month, the month of the fall feasts. In just a few days, when the first sliver of the new moon is sighted, we will celebrate Yom Teruah, the day of blowing, the Feast of Trumpets, a moed, an appointed time of Yahweh himself. Leviticus chapter 23 verses 23 and 24 tells us, "And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, saying, In the 7th month on the first day of the month you shall observe a day of solemn rest, a memorial proclaimed with the blast of trumpets, a holy convocation." This is the only feast that begins on the new moon, teaching us to stay alert, to watch, and to be ready. It is sometimes called Yom HaKizi, the hidden day, because no one knew the exact day or hour until the new moon was sighted. The Hebrew word teruah means more than just a trumpet blast. It is a loud cry, a battle shout, an alarm, a joyful noise. Numbers chapter 10 shows us that the trumpet was blown to gather the congregation, to signal them to break camp, to sound the alarm, and to announce the presence of the king. Exodus chapter 19 says the shofar grew louder and louder at Mount Sinai when Yahweh descended to give his Ketubah, his covenant, to his people. Joshua chapter 6 shows that the walls of Jericho fell at the sound of the shofar and the shout of the people. Psalm 89 verse 15 says, "Blessed are the people who know the joyful sound. They walk, O Lord, in the light of your face." Paul teaches in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 51 and 52, "Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised imperishable, and we shall be changed." And in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 16 and 17, "For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a cry of command, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Messiah will rise first. Then we who are alive, who are left, will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will always be with the Lord." The sages associate Yom Teruah not only with kingship, but also with the coming wedding of the Messiah. Indeed, the entire plan of redemption follows the pattern of the ancient Hebrew wedding. The first step was the shidduch, the choosing of the bride. The father of the groom would select a bride worthy of his son. Ephesians chapter 1 verses 4 and 5 says, "He chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and blameless before him. In love he predestined us for adoption to himself as sons through Yeshua the Messiah." John chapter 15 verse 16 says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit." Before time began, we were chosen to be the bride of Messiah. The second step was the mohar, the payment of the bride price. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 20 says, "You were bought with a price." 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 18 and 19 reminds us, "You were ransomed, not with silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Messiah, like that of a lamb without blemish or spot." The bridegroom laid down his life to redeem his bride. The third step was the Ketubah, the written covenant. This document outlined the promises of the groom and the responsibilities of the bride. At Sinai, God gave Israel his Ketubah, the Torah, and said in Exodus chapter 19 verse 5, "If you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all peoples." Jeremiah chapter 31 verses 31 through 33 promises a new covenant with the Torah written on our hearts. The Ketubah is binding, the bride is called to faithfulness. The fourth step was the erusin, the betrothal. The groom and bride would drink from a cup of wine, the kos erusin. If the bride drank, she accepted the covenant. Yeshua said in Luke chapter 22, verse 20, "This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood." Each time we partake of the cup, we renew our betrothal vows to our bridegroom. After the betrothal, the groom would leave to prepare a place for his bride. John chapter 14 verses 2 and 3 says, "In my Father's house are many rooms. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and take you to myself, that where I am you may be also." The father would not permit the groom to return until the bridal chamber was ready. Matthew chapter 24 verse 36 reminds us, "But concerning that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven nor the Son, but the Father only." During this time the bride prepared her garments and kept her lamp full of oil. Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 2, "I betrothed you to one husband, to present you as a pure virgin to Messiah." Revelation 19 verse 8 tells us her garments are the righteous deeds of the saints. When the Father gave the word, the groom and his friends would go to the bride's home at night, with torches, with a shout, and with the sound of the shofar. This was called the Kiddushin Nisuin, the taking of the bride. She would be lifted and carried to the bridal chamber. This is the prophetic picture of the resurrection and gathering of the saints at the last trumpet. Then came the chuppah, the wedding canopy, the consummation, and the 7-day feast. The Sudat Nisuin, the marriage supper, was celebrated with great joy. Revelation 19 verses 7 through 9 says, "Let us rejoice and exult and give him the glory, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb." In the ceremony, the groom might recite, "Ani ladodi vidodi li," "I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine." The bride might respond, "Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov," "How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel." This is the language of covenant love. Beloved, Yom Teruah is not merely a festival of trumpet blasts. It is, the prophetic announcement that the bridegroom is coming. It calls us to repentance, to holiness, and to readiness. It reminds us that we are betrothed to Messiah, called to live as a faithful bride, and that the trumpet will sound soon. Before we sound the shofar, we declare, "Barvg ata yiva Eloheinu melech havalam asher kidshan b'mitzvotai vitzivan lishmo abakvol hashvopar Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav vitzivanu lishmo b'kol hashofar." Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to hear the sound of the shofar. As the shofar sounds, Tekaya, Shivarim, Teruah, Tekaya Gedola, let us, hear it as the voice of the bridegroom calling his bride. Just as the ancient groom came in the night, so Messiah comes for his people. Let this sound awaken your hearts to readiness, holiness, and joy. Closing priestly blessing, Birkat Kohanim, from Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 to 26. Yibarekha Yiva Vayishmreka. Ya'er Yiva Panaiv Eleka Vihuneka. Yisha Yiva Panaiv Eleka Viashem Laka Shalvam. Yivarachecha Adonai Vishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai Panav Elecha Vichuneka. Yisa Adonai Panav Elecha Viasem Lecha Shalom. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.